ikaw ang pangulo para sa pagbabago. Sawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tao. Madilim na kahapon, ikaw ang mag-aahon. Sa piling mo, di ko mawawala ang korupsyon.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, President, Republic of the Philippines.
Tayo na magbago, hawak kamay tayo para sa
Trooping the line before us is the President, Republic of the Philippines, and Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. He is accompanied by the Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, Vice Admiral Robert A. Empedrad, AFP, and by the Troop Commander, Colonel Ricardo D. Petrola, Philippine Navy Marines, GSC. Please remain standing as we acknowledge the presence of the President, Republic of the Philippines, and Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. He is accompanied by General Carlito G. Galvez Jr., AFP, the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines. Lieutenant General Galileo Gerald R. Quintanar Jr., AFP, Commanding General, Philippine Army. Lieutenant General Rolando Joselito O. Bautista, AFP, Commanding General, Philippine Air Force. And by the Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, Vice Admiral Robert A. Empedrad, AFP.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, good afternoon. Welcome aboard Coconut Palace CCP Complex, Manila, in celebration of the 120th anniversary of the Philippine Navy. We commemorate this event with a recurring theme, the Navy, protecting the seas, securing our future.
Let us now sing with pride the Philippine National Anthem. The Naval Chief Chaplain, Captain Benifranco M. Rada, Philippine Navy General Staff Corps, will now lead us all for the invocation.
Let us pray. O God, Heavenly Father, we solemnly invoke your divine grace and blessing to sanctify the 120th founding anniversary of the Philippine Navy. Together with President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, President of the Republic of the Philippines, continue to bless him, Lord, all the days of his life. Dear Lord, our newly acquired platforms and defense capabilities are your gifts to us. Spare us and our ships from all forms of storm and natural catastrophes. Deliver us from the enemy of the state. Guide our voyage to safety. Let thy divine wisdom, O Lord, direct the course of our life. Protect us and the families of our sailors and marines in times of danger and strife. Help us always as we esteem to accomplish our sail plan the right and honorable way. We hold fast to the values of naval tradition, of honor, dedication and patriotism, solidarity, loyalty, and professionalism. For among us, O God, shall live on the bravery of our gallant sailors and marines, who offered their ultimate sacrifice by protecting our seas and securing our future, so that our maritime nation will remain undivided and our people shall live in peace. Grant them, O Lord, eternal rest. Finally, O gracious God, for the countless blessings you bestowed upon the Philippine Navy, we thank you. And for all that will be it done in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen. In the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Please be seated.
At this point, to give his welcome remarks and anniversary message, may we call on the Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, Vice Admiral Robert A. Empedrad, AFP.
President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, President of the Republic of the Philippines, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Secretary Christopher Lawrence Bong Tesorogo, the Special Assistant to the President of the Philippines. Secretary Delphine N. Lorenzana, the Secretary of the Department of National Defense. Secretary Eduardo M. Año, Secretary of the Department of Interior and Local Government. Senator Cynthia A. Villar, ma'am. Members of Cabinet Secretaries, members of the Committee on National Defense and Security, members of local government units, General and Mrs. Carlito Galvez, Armed Forces of the Philippines, our Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Lieutenant General and Mrs. Rolando Ocelito O. Bautista, the Commanding General of the Philippine Army, Lieutenant General and Mrs. Galileo Gerard R. Quintanar, the Commanding General of the Philippine Air Force, Vice Admiral and Mrs. Narciso A. Vinson Jr., the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, members of the Philippine Navy Board of Advisors, former flag officers in command, Philippine Navy and their ladies, Department of National Defense officials, senior flag ranks generals of the Philippine Navy, operational commanders, and support unit commanders of the Philippine Navy, members of the Diplomatic Corps, members of foreign armed forces attaches, our awardees, the Philippine Navy Officers' Wife Association ladies, led by my wife, Bessie. Love, please stand up, please. Our PN reservists, sailors and Marines, ladies and gentlemen, good Navy afternoon to everyone. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Taken from Psalms 118, verse 24. Today, the 24,000 strong sailors and Marines of your Navy are extremely joyful as we celebrate 120 years of fruitful and dedicated service to God, country, and the Filipino people. We are even more truly delighted with the presence of our beloved President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte, and other special guests for sparing your precious time to be with us at this time of Thanksgiving. I wish to express my congratulations to the awardees for their exemplary achievements that merited their awards. You are indeed an inspiration to every sailor and Marines. Amidst our humble celebration, may I enjoin our esteemed guests and all the sailors and Marines present to pause for a minute as we take special remembrance of our fallen heroes, the 36 Marines who gave their very lives fighting for the liberation of Marawi City. As the 37th Flag Officer in Command of the Philippine Navy, it is with distinct honor and privilege that I personally welcome everyone in this momentous event. Our anniversary theme, Protecting the Seas, Securing Our Future, highlights the importance of our Navy if we are to progress and prosper as a maritime nation. History dictates that our forefathers embraced a very rich and strong maritime culture, knowing fully well that we are an island archipelago. They realized that development and progress and prosperity depend primarily on the sea. They built seacraft as early as pre-Hispanic era to sustain trade and commerce, not only with inter-islands, but with other countries as well. They also used this craft in naval warfare against pirates and to repel foreign threats that undermine the well-being of our country. However, Dr. Rowena Boquirin, a well-known historian professor of the UP Baguio, our guest lecturer during the Navy's pre-anniversary Naval Symposium said, and I quote, "We must retrieve the archipelagic tradition and realities of our maritime nations." He said, the early Filipinos have the mindset that is maritime in character, and we have to restore that. It is sad to note that through time, we failed to sustain that strong maritime heritage of our forefather, let alone lose it. And the big question is, why? Why has this happened? This has actually impacted on the condition of our Navy today. After the war, the Philippine Navy is one of the most powerful navies in the Asian region. However, 6 decades later, we are one of the weakest even in Southeast Asian region. Maritime nations like Malaysia, Indonesia, Japan, and Singapore, and even Vietnam and Myanmar have upgraded their naval capability, while the Philippine Navy went to obsolescence. Fellow Filipinos, I firmly believe that we are supposed to be a big-time maritime nation, having the 5th longest coastline in the world, twice longer than that of the United States of America. We have more than 7,100 islands, the 3rd most in the world. And our vast maritime water has an area 7 times that of the country's land area. But more importantly, we are the number 2 seafarer producing country in the world, next to China. Our national interest, therefore, is not only limited through our maritime waters, but extends globally. The West Philippine Seas and the Sulu Seas are 2 of the busiest and most important commercial lanes in the world. In times of disasters and calamities, islands, municipalities are only accessible through waters. Yet, today, we fail to harness the sea power potential of our country, let alone upgrade the Navy's capability and so protect our national interest. Congressman Jess Manalo once said, the Navy must be the flavor of the month. He stressed the need to modernize the Navy. But I believe we should not be only the flavor of the month, but the Philippine Navy should be the flavor of the future. I consider today's event as historic and momentous because we will showcase your Navy's capability through a fleet review that will also highlight the fleet marine amphibious strength. The last time we did a fleet review was in 1998, the 100 years anniversary of the Philippine Navy. I also believe we are slowly regaining our maritime character as a nation, and our vision of becoming a strong and credible Navy that our maritime nation Philippines will be proud of by year 2020 is very well crafted. Be that as it may, we are still too far behind compared to other navies in the region. But with the strongest support of our beloved President, the Secretary of National Defense, our senators and our congressmen, our dream will soon become a reality. At this point, I wish to mention some of the Navy's upgrade program in recent months. 2 months ago, the Philippine Navy received the last of the 5 TC-90 aircraft from Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force. These aircraft upgrades the Navy's capability in humanitarian assistance and disaster response, search and rescue operations, and surveillance capability. The aircraft has longer range that can effectively cover our vast maritime waters in support to our littoral monitoring stations. A month ago, the very first missile capability of the Philippine Navy was acquired from Israel. These will be integrated on board the Navy's multi-purpose aircraft, and the system will be fully operational in July. The Pohang corvette from the Republic of Korea may be delivered by the third quarter of this year. The 2 anti-submarine warfare helicopters with torpedoes will be operational by May next year. And finally, the 2 missile frigates will be delivered in 2020. On the other hand, the delivery of the amphibious attack vehicles of the Philippine Marine Corps will be delivered by first quarter of 2019. With the intention to level up our commitment to sustaining peace, stability, and progress in the Asian region, our capital ships participated in International Fleet Review and the first ever multilateral naval exercise in Thailand as part of the 50th ASEAN celebration and the multilateral naval exercise Komodo 2018 held in Indonesia. This coming July, the Navy will be sending 2 ships and 1 AW-109 with 700 sailors and Marines on board for the very first time to participate in the Rim of the Pacific Exercise 2018 in Honolulu, Hawaii. These will be participated by 30 other foreign navies. Beloved President, other esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is your Navy. Let us all sit back then, relax, and hope that you will enjoy our way of celebrating the 120th year anniversary of the Philippine Navy. Thank you, and God bless us all. Huya! Huwa! Magandang hapon sa ating lahat.
Thank you very much, Vice Admiral Robert A. Empedrad, AFP. At this point, we shall now proceed to the presentation of awards. Awards are manifestations of tangible achievements of individuals and organizations. Moreover, today, the Philippine Navy gives due recognition to these individuals in giving pride to the Team Navy.
May we invite the Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, and the Secretary of National Defense to assist the President for the presentation of awards. To read the citations for the Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Kamagi, is the Chief Presidential Protocol, Mr. Robert Borge.
Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Kamagi. The Order of Lapu-Lapu was established in 2017 and is conferred by the President of the Philippines in recognition of the exemplary service rendered by officials and personnel of the government, as well as private individuals, in significantly advancing a campaign or advocacy of the President, particularly acts of valor and kindness described as extraordinary acts of service and exceptional contributions to the country. The Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Kamagi, is awarded to officials and personnel of the government and private individuals who actively participated in and contributed significantly to an activity pursuant to a campaign or advocacy of the President. The Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Kamagi, is hereby awarded to Rear Admiral Rene Medina. The Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Kamagi, is hereby awarded to Brigadier General Melquiades Ordiales, Jr. The Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Kamagi, is hereby awarded to Lieutenant Colonel Gerald Bautista. The Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Kamagi, is hereby awarded to Lieutenant Colonel Dante Robert Garrasparil. And finally, the Order of Lapu-Lapu, rank of Kamagi, is hereby awarded to Lieutenant Commander Ferdy Parpan.
Ladies and gentlemen, a warm round of applause to all our awardees. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm round of applause to all the awardees for this year's Philippine Navy anniversary.
And now, to formally introduce our guest of honor, may I call on Secretary of National Defense, Secretary Delphine N. Lorenzana.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Daghang salamat, kindly sit down. I will be through in 2 minutes. Masyadong matipid ang House Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez and other members of the House of Representatives, Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana, and the other members of the Cabinet, Senator Cynthia Villar, ma'am, maayong hapon. AFP Chief of Staff General Carlito Galvez and other major service commanders, the officers, enlisted personnel, and reservists of the Philippine Navy, led by its flag officer in command, Vice Admiral Robert M. Peredad. The other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I had wanted to deliver a longer speech, but talagang mainit ang panahon, and I know that it would be a relief if we go somewhere after this. I will just read a very short speech, but a very meaningful one. I congratulate the Philippine Navy for its 120 years of unwavering service, sacrifice, dedication, and commitment to defend our shores, protect our seas, and secure our maritime borders. It was only last year when we celebrated the Philippine Navy's anniversary during the Marawi siege. Then we honored the heroic efforts of the men and women of the Navy and the Marines in the liberation of Marawi. Today, we once again honor them as we make significant progress in the rehabilitation and reconstruction of that city. To the brave soldiers and Marines of our Navy, you have made the Filipino people proud and continue to do so with gallantry in defending our sovereignty in our territorial waters, particularly in the West Philippine Sea. Ladies and gentlemen, I would have wanted to share with you my insights in the matter of the West Philippine Sea, its dynamics, and of course, the implication of geopolitics. But for lack of material time, I may do it some other venue, which I think you'd be more comfortable to wait and listen to the policy. There's something to do with my desire to defend, but at the same time, not to make any move that would be destructive to the nation. I cannot afford at this time to go to war. I cannot go into a battle which I cannot win, and it would only result in the destruction and probably a lot of losses for our armed forces. Ako gusto ko, I really want to do something to assert. But you know, when I assumed the presidency, there was already this ROCOS in the West Philippine Sea. It used to be China Sea. And because in my simple calculation, with every common sense that's available to me, I would have taken a stronger but probably a more violent way of doing it. And I said, in my own estimation, it would be a great loss to the nation and probably end up losing a war. And all of these things I would have wanted to made known to you. And whether you accept it or not, that is the reality on the ground. That's geopolitics. You well know what are at stakes. I cannot rely just on one nation and country to defend us, and maybe to help us in our hour of need. We had a very sad experience in the Marawi siege, and we all know and that we have fallen short in some respects the way it was handled. I assume full responsibility. I did not anticipate or even guess that there would be so much ordnance and that the fight would take us about 4 months to finish. All of these forts, if it is indeed one, or our forts, it belongs and it falls on my shoulders as Commander-in-Chief. And I assume full responsibility to the nation of what's going to happen. Now, as a matter of fact, I was with, I'm veering away from my speech already. In the first bilateral meeting with China, I was there with General Lorenzana. By the way, the Troop Commander, could I request you to give the order of Tikas Pahinga? I'm sorry, I overlooked it. Generals Lorenzana, Anyo, and I think it was Anyo then was the Chief of Staff, Speron, the National Security Advisor, and a full cabinet in a bilateral confrontation. And I began by just asking that, if it's an inventory, you can look at it, and it's all firearms. Yung forma ng baril nandyan. But those are old ones, and sometimes it would falter in the heat of battle and place in jeopardy the lives of my soldiers. And so I went around to buy new ones, and the first thing I did was I announced to Mr. President Xi Jinping that I have come here to discuss about the arms, and I will buy it. I'm not asking it for free, but in our long conversation, in one of those moments, he said, "No, you just do not worry about it. We will give it to you free." And because there was the shipment which was ordered from another country, and we expected new ones, because the intelligence, even if I was the mayor, I have roots there in Marawi. The intelligence came very fast that there was a build-up. And I said, for all of its, the short-sightedness, maybe, it falls upon my shoulders to bear the burden. I and I alone should be responsible for that. But anyway, I congratulate and I pay homage to my soldiers, my policemen, and I was there almost 9 times to join them, even at night, just to give them the esprit de corps to. It was a very harsh condition. And by the way, I also went to Russia and explained to them about my wandering, about not having so much firearms, or I needed new ones, the accurate ones that not have been really, if you can describe it, a battle-weary gun. And I had to get new ones. And Putin had to come back earlier because my meeting with him was on the next day. Yet. But when he knew that I was coming home, because it was at the time that Marawi exploded, I had to go home. and to declare martial law in another country. That is a painful realization, to be signing something about your country, about the safety of your country, about the safety of the people, and to give the orders outside of the Republic of the Philippines. It probably, I would say that it leaves a dent in my own history when I go out of government services. So, masakit para sa akin na both Filipinos dying. But since I am the commander-in-chief, I had to stay with my soldiers and my policemen. And I will continue to place a premium. Ganito kasi yan eh. A lot of complaints has been raised about government people raising howl about the doubling of salaries. In an ordinary time, or even during extreme conditions or extreme danger, we go out with the bureaucracy. We go out of our house expecting to be back at night to join our family. But these guys, when they are called for an assignment and there's trouble, even a small pocket battles everywhere, the possibility of not coming home again or getting back to the house in horizontal position is not quite. And so that is why I really, I've been mayor for 23 years. Huwag na ho kayong nagyabang ako, but my father was also governor of Davao province before. It was only one. And I'm quite maybe familiar of the dynamics that goes on and what role has the uniform personnel had to do in those times. It's really a matter of life and death. Maybe I can come home, maybe I will not make it with my family. Now, that is the reason why nauna sila. Because I was way ahead, actually. I made that promise as a campaign platform to improve the situation of the police and the military. And I must admit that until now, we have so many problems involving the police. And we are struggling to correct things. I've chosen the best of the disciplinarians. Unknown people are really very strict in the military ways. I think that I might return the training itself and the militaristic activity training of the police back to the PNP itself. It has not done good since we transferred it to a public safety, with due respect to General De Leon, who was assigned in Davao City before. He's a very competent, but the system it ain't working. And we're producing, to my mind, some lousy men getting into the service under questionable circumstances. Nagkulang tayo doon sa background check and even the matter of the protocol of joining the police. Marami dyan mga salbahe na, who are really criminals, but who maneuvered somehow to get into this service. And some of them, sadly, are really into drugs. So I just remind everybody, including, most of all, the policemen, because there are plenty. I'm just warning them that if you are into it, you will be the first to go. You interpret it in many, and whatever suits you would be fine for me. Pero kayo talaga ang uunahin ko. And it is no surprise that we are just also falling down one by one. And the mayors, and the barangay captains. It's a policy which I cannot renege or even move a little backwards. Drugs would destroy the nation, period. And the drug war will include the military and the police. You know, if I were to reduce abbreviated oath of office, and for all of you, lahat tayo, it simply says, our duty mandates us that we must, it's a mandatory direction, we must protect the people and preserve the nation. And to all of those criminals out there, and to all of those rogue policemen and all, creating hell for us, I have yet sufficient time to correct all of these things. You might not like the way how I correct things, but I would just like to warn you that walang atrasan to. And I am there in the drug war, in front, behind you guys, law enforcement and the military people. And I assure you in front of everybody that I will not allow a single soldier or policeman, whatever be the rank, to go to prison just because he was performing his duty. Di mangyari yan. Not one of you, I promised you, will go to jail. I will never allow it. And I said in this campaign against drugs and there is so many illegal things, I stake my honor, I've been repeating that all these years, even during the campaign, I stake my honor, my life, and the presidency itself. Wala akong illusions about staying there for 6 years or for 4 years, 2 years. What I'm really would like to happen is that by the time I leave, at least I live with a country where the people are just comfortable, period. Not overfed, but neither hungry. And so have so many things to do. And we are trying to do it. I am complying all of my promises. Graft and corruption, I fire people every day, including cabinet members. In the drug war, marami akong, they just don't know it. But the problem with this, some organizations, I'd like to be courteous to them. Gusto ko magmura, but because of the crowd and in deference to your celebration, you know, look at the newspaper every day. Look at the, I said, PTB4, which is government, to publish how many policemen and soldiers get killed every day, 3, 4, 5, in drug-related violent confrontations. The Marawi itself was precipitated by the service of a warrant against a Maote relative for drugs. And I have been warning the government and people that the rebellion there is being funded by Shabu. It's a chemical that is really intended for the poor. That is why the perpetual attack or complaint is bakit may mga mahirap ang namamatay. You know, the vow now, or the fad, if you may, is really Shabu, is intended sa mga mahirap. At doon ang labanan, kasi they do it openly and they do not have the mansions, they don't have the ships and the yachts to do it. Mahirap lang to eh. So karamihan nag-inkwentro. And I must admit that there were abuses. and we go after them. Ba't mo sabihin mo na ipakulong mo yung polis ko kasi nagtrabaho, nagbarila? No? You know, I'm a lawyer, and I've been a prosecutor. If you become a client, you're a criminal. All I have to do is to file counter charges of physical abuse. Then the poor policeman has a case to contend with. And when he is suspended, which is usually the case, kung may kaso ka, whether it is a trump-up charge, a fabricated, or whatever, that policeman gets suspended. And the family suffers the lack of food and the stopping of the education of the children. Kaya dyan ako nasasaktan. Diyan ako na and other people go to the other countries and they are being abused, they are being killed. And we send the money back home. These idiots here, they know. And they would just rub it in like a sore thumb every day until bibigay yung tao. Kaya ako nasasaktan at yung, you know, if a family loses a mother who goes out to work, that family becomes dysfunctional. If the father goes out to work in other places, that family becomes dysfunctional. If the mother and father works abroad, that family is totally unstable, dysfunctional, at iiwan lang yung mga anak dyan sa mga kapatid, yung iba sa kapitbahay, para lang makapag-aral ang anak nila. And they endure sleepless nights, food that is, I'm not attributing to any country. We're okay now with Kuwait. We're okay now with Kuwait. My conditions were met. That they must be guaranteed before I sign the lifting of the ban. And the Kuwait government has shown courage also in meeting our challenge. I demanded that they be allowed to sleep 7 hours, guaranteed. No physical abuse. That their cell phones and passports are not confiscated. And they have a day off once a week. So if these conditions are met, I'll sign the lifting of the ban. And frankly, I'd like to thank officially the Kuwait government for giving us these conditions which would better place in a more, basi kunting kaligayahan lang naman sa mga OFW. And I think that would be really, from now on, the conditions, that would be a condition sine qua non before we enter into contracts about our brothers and sisters. Nasasaktan ako. Kaya kayong mga durugista, do not destroy my country because I will kill you. Do not destroy the young of my country. They're just our only resource. Papatayin talaga kita. We are a poor nation. We hardly make both ends meet. Pero pag ginagawa ko, what was this? My father was Chinese Islam. So, kayong mga in-check nakikinig, do not bother being hurt. Pero may mga dyan sa Cebu na mga yumaman sa drugs tapos magyabang pa na. I openly admitted in Congress that I was playing with drugs. But it's a merchandise that you have to be caught with it or in your control. And even if it's just a warehouse, if you are out of it a kilometer away and say, I don't have anything with that, that's it. It's just like a firearm. You must be apprehended with the firearm in your control or possession, just like drugs. Because kung wala silang makuha sa'yo sa bulsa mo, and then they would just go about and proclaim to the world, it's correct. I admitted it before Congress that also playing with drugs, trafficking of drugs. But wala man kayong, what's your evidence that I ever had in my possession? If you do that publicly, tapos you flaunt it as if you are the righteous person just because there is no evidence, although you were the one responsible. If I were you guys in Cebu, stay in jail. You want to live longer? Stay in jail. Maghanap ka, look for your own reason to be in jail. Do not go out of that facility. It would not be healthy for you. So I have my peace. And I can assure you that I see a lot of ships there out. And for the little resources that we have, the only thing that we have to aspire is to have more income. I hold it as an article of faith, having been mayor, congressman, vice mayor to my daughter. And all of the 40 years, I would have completed, I never lost an election. If I complete my term as president for 6 years, I would have served government, started as a prosecutor. And in the fullness of God's time, inshallah. Kung hindi, well, alam ninyo na. Although it is not to the liking of everybody, and I don't give a I do not craft my career to the predilections of other persons. I will just finish it. Baka nakikinig yung gumawa nito. We likewise recognize your accomplishments and contributions in humanitarian assistance, maritime law enforcement, counterterrorism, and disaster relief operation. These noble endeavors have made our kababayans feel safer in challenging circumstances. We are indeed excited. We live in exciting times, and for our armed forces, as we further enhance the capability of our Navy. Since the beginning of this administration, I have exerted efforts to upgrade your equipment and artillery, which now include additional 2 units of TC-90 aircraft, 2 units of multipurpose assault crafts, and 1 strategic sea vessel, among others. I am happy to say that the government is currently working on implementing the second horizon of the revised AFP modernization program, which encompasses a number of projects for the Philippines amounting to 77 million. By the way, allow me to just insert something. I don't know if I'm supposed to make it public, and I really do not have a way of knowing whether it would make Esperon happy or not. But in my table, before I left, that's why I was late, because I was reviewing it. Jordan is giving us 2 Cobra helicopters. Those things that we cannot really afford. Maybe in my term. Tapos, there was this, I was criticized by a human rights commissioner, or the highest guy. And he said maybe Duterte needs to go to the psychiatrist. I would have wanted to, but Esperon said, no, do not do it. Maybe, Mayor, you can swallow insults. Anyway, you are doing it almost every day. You are throwing curses, epithets, and all. And the people that you, hindi mo rin sila makaganti, this time I'm asking you to shut up. Why? That high official there is the brother of the king of Jordan. Because I prepared a little, as maybe a rebuttal. And he said, please do not do it. Or else I will lose he was the one who war for it. He's now there in Jordan. So I got this electronic copy for his authority to accept it. And to Jordan, which faces the same problem like the Philippines, it's terrorism. I would have wanted to talk about terrorism and how the geopolitics in this region are played. But I'm willing to have breakfast with your officer and explain my position. Why am I adapting this policy? Some of you, the smart ones, alam mo naman, we cannot fight the battle. So what am I doing? What I'm doing? So I do not have time. But I'm willing to talk to you guys, every one of you. Let's have a budur fight, and I will explain to you how geopolitics is evolving in this part of the region. I will finish by saying, together with the armed forces of the Philippines, I am confident that one day we will realize our aspiration of building a strong and resilient nation. I therefore ask each of you to do your part so that in the next 120 years, we can establish a naval force that will last lifetime, and maybe we can start invading other nations. Again, happy 120th anniversary at mabuhay ang hukbong dagat ng Pilipinas. Congratulations. And my snappy salute.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The troop commander will now command the troops to march off. The marching of troops signals the next part of today's program, the capability demonstration and the fleet review. May we likewise invite all our guests and visitors to witness the capability demonstration and fleet review by the different Philippine Navy units.
Today's capability demonstration details the military strength of our Naval Special Operations Group and the Marine Special Operations Group. Both of these groups are designed to support naval operations through their various capabilities, such as visit board and search and rescue, maritime interdiction operations, insertion and coastal penetration, direct action, raid, special reconnaissance, and sniper operations. The Naval Special Operations Group is headed by Commander Androval P. Abayon, Philippine Navy, and their unit is located at Naval Station Heraclio Alano, Sangli Point, Cavite City. The Marine Special Operations Group, on the other hand, is headed by Colonel Armando B. Custodio, Philippine Navy Marines GSC, and their unit is located at Marine Base Gregorio Lim, Ternate, Cavite.
We would like to inform the audience that you are about to see a simulation of firefight between friendly and enemy forces during special operations. Please be informed that only blank ammunitions will be used during the demonstration. All actors will only fire at an oblique and horizontal direction and not towards the stage or the audience. Moreover, The explosive that they will be using is a 1/16-pound M112 Block C4 with 2 feet PETN detonation cord and a safe blast radius of beyond 5 meters. Once again, all actors in the scene are professionals. Be reminded not to try this at home, and your safety is our paramount concern.
May I now direct your attention to the LED wall for a short video clip.
Since the birth of our Philippine Navy, amphibious operations have been carried out for decades by brave and highly trained fleet marine personnel, anywhere in any given time, utilizing specialized military equipment and vehicles that are constantly upgraded to accomplish its missions, neutralizing enemy forces and gaining control of the shore. Amphibious operation is an attack launched from the sea by naval and landing forces. Embarked on ships or crafts, they carry out landings on a hostile shore. A complete operation in itself, amphibious operation incorporates land, sea, and air forces into one cohesive assault force and integrates them into a balanced, concentrated, and tremendous combat power to defeat an enemy ashore.
General quarters, all hands man your battle stations. General quarters, all hands man your battle stations.
What you see right now on the LED wall is the actual well-deck operation, showcasing the two landing craft utility loaded with Philippine Marine Corps troops coming out of the landing dock anchored in front. This is a procedure being conducted during amphibious operations. On the screen is the actual landing of Marine Battalion landing team, launched from the landing craft utility during the conduct of amphibious operations.
As an archipelagic nation, amphibious operations reinforces the Philippine Navy's operational strength and the armed forces of the Philippines. Our Philippine Navy.
To the Commander-in-Chief, ladies and gentlemen, in front is a naval helicopter equipped for intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and close air support capabilities. For intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions, it is configured with an electro-optical infrared camera, capable to perform day and night surveillance with thermal imaging capability, essential for precise target acquisition. These optical cameras can identify targets within 10 nautical miles at an altitude of 5,000 feet. These ISR helicopters of the Philippine Navy has proved its worth and significantly contributed to the various successful conducts of numerous internal peace and security operations of the Armed Forces of the Philippines in the different parts of Mindanao.
What you see on the screen is the live video feed of ISR footage of our reconnaissance helicopter. Doctrinally in tandem with the ship connected through a downlink system, this helicopter provides real-time information. What you see on the LED wall is the zoomed-in footage of our venue from our reconnaissance helicopter. On the screen is a thermal footage of the conglomeration of the enemies. Our ISR helicopter have now spotted the area where the hostages are being held by the enemies.
Ground Navy 431.
Go ahead, Navy 431.
We have a suspected visual of the terrorists and the hostages. 100 meters northeast of Building Alpha. A mass of approximately 20 armed personnel. We are suspecting it to be the command center of the insurgents, while another group, which we suspect to be the hostages and their guards, are spotted west side of Building Alpha, approximately 150 meters.
Continue to monitor the situation on ground and maintain visual on the hostages and terrorists. Troops and forces are being organized and will be deployed shortly.
Real Code will monitor Navy 431.
The Philippine Navy Special Operations Group and Marine Special Operations Group will now proceed with the assault. In a short while, you are about to see our naval helicopter from the right side of the stage, carrying Naval Special Operations Group and Marine Special Operations Group.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention towards the sea as our Philippine Navy SEAL team of Naval Special Operations Group and Marine Special Operations Group perform HelloCast. HelloCast is an airborne technique used by Small Unit Special Operations Force to insert into a military area of operations. The small unit is flown by helicopter to a maritime insertion point. Once there, the aircraft assumes an altitude just above the water surface and airspeed of 10 knots or less. As soon as they hit the water, they immediately move towards the objective using their closed-circuit underwater breathing apparatus, or commonly known as rebreathers. All expelled breath is recycled into the closed circuit where it is filtered for carbon dioxide. The result is a complete elimination of expelled bubbles, which makes it ideal for clandestine operations.
What we see on the screen is the actual footage of Navy SEALs emerging out of the cold and dark waters. Please direct your attention towards the seawall as the Navy SEALs emerges on the target area.
Seeing a basic 8-man SEAL team. The team is composed of a point man, team leader, radio telephone operator, automatic weapons man, hospital man, second automatic weapons man, assistant team leader, and the rear security. Each and every one of them has warfare skills in combat swimming, air operations, diving, demolitions, communications, and small boat handling, among others.
The search team clears the hooch and gets significant valuable items and documents. The team leader now orders his men to be in their designated position. As the Navy SEAL sniper spotted the enemy, the sniper patiently locks onto his target, and with timing and controlled breathing, he then fires at the enemy. And the team proceeds with the assault. The SEAL team now clears the area and search for drugs, explosives, sensitive equipment, and enemy documents. The SEALs hold the line while the radio telephone operator calls the special boat unit for fire support and hot extraction. The team leader then commands his team to peel right to get out of the killing zone.
This is Frogman, request hot extraction!
are the special boats of Naval Special Operations Group. Their primary mission is to provide fire support for the extracting troops.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we now direct your attention to the aircraft. The SEAL team are now able to extract and withdraw out of the killing zone. And that, ladies and gentlemen, you have just witnessed the demonstration of the Naval Special Operations Group.
We now come to the presentation of the Marine Special Operations Group. Emerging on your left is the Special Operations Combat Unit of the Marine Special Operations Group, also known as the tip of the spear of your Philippine Marine Corps. The four-man team is composed of the point man, the navigator, the team leader, and the radio man.
What you see on the screen is the live feed of the first-person video footage of the target area captured and transmitted simultaneously using the Marine Forces Imagery Targeting Support System, or MITSS. The Marine Special Operations Group operates under the roof of darkness. Silently and tactically, they move in order to achieve the element of surprise without being compromised and to successfully penetrate into the enemy's defense.
This four-man team is Marine Special Operations Group's smallest unit and most capable and effective in conducting deep ground and special reconnaissance missions due to its stealth and small operational footprint. The team will serve as the eyes and ears of the commander by collecting real-time information about the enemy and terrain in the objective. These information will be used to emplace security, support, and assault elements in the most dangerous locations to maximize the combined arms effect of fire and maneuver. following four-man team is composed of the weapons specialist, assistant weapons specialist, assistant team leader, and the tail scout.
Using tactical strobe light, the team leader signals the other team to move towards their location. They will now then reorganize into 8-man team. To ensure destructive firepower and direct support for the assaulting elements, the team leader deploys the crew-served weapons. Attached with the team is a Marine Scout sniper team composed of the sniper and the spotter. They crawled and set their position, covering clear line of sight towards their target. With sharp patience, discipline, and timing, he then accurately fires at the enemy. This initiates the assaulting elements to swiftly execute the hostage rescue.
With unique tactical wisdom, coupled with sheer courage, they gallantly execute the hostage rescue. Equipped by their efficient combat skill set and advanced weapons, the members of Marine Special Operations Group selectively engage and deliver effective fires to neutralize the enemies. Their primary mission is to take the hostages from the hands of their captors and to ensure their safety extraction from the battleground. The team leader immediately directs his support elements to shift the direction of their fire to provide cover to their extracting comrades. Though few in numbers, this 8-man team of the Marine Special Operations Group is capable to deliver firepower to defend their position and impede the enemy's advance.
At this point, we will witness the naval aviators showcase their aircraft handling skills. Flying above us are 3 fixed-wing trainer aircraft under the Naval Aviation Training Squadron 50. These are Cessna 172 Foxtrot Skyhawk, 172 November Skyhawk, and 152 Aerobat planes, equipped with a reliable single reciprocating engine, capable of up to 3.5 hours of endurance flight.
To cover the extraction of operating troops, the spotter attached to the ground team requests for naval gunfire support from the Jacinto-class patrol vessel. Using its 76mm gun and enhanced fire control system, it can deliver accurate gunfire at shore support to the amphibious operations.
Bravo Charlie, this is Gold Sierra. Fire mission. Target number Alpha Foxtrot 001, over. Paul Sierra, this is Bravo Charlie. Fire mission. Target number Alpha Foxtrot 001, out. Direction 4210. Hostile platoon. Danger close. Northeast 300. First cargo at 450, over. Gun target line 6400. First salvo at odd 450. Ready main, over. Ready main, fire, over. Fire, out. Odd 50, 3 salvos, fire for effect, over. Odd 50, 3 salvos, fire for effect, out. Rounds complete, over. End of mission. Hostile
Earlier,
enemy
we have witnessed the
neutralized. Out.
flyby of the trainer aircraft. And now, we will witness the flyby of our latest fixed-wing aircraft, the King Air Beechcraft C-90 aircraft. Performing a low pass above our surface assets are the NV-390, NV-392, and NV-395.
Ladies and gentlemen, you had just witnessed the effective fusion of the skills of Philippine Navy personnel and the reliable and cutting-edge equipment and assets in action. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to our Philippine Navy Special Operations Group and Marine Special Operations Group.
Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now proceed with the Fleet Review. The Fleet Review is always incorporated in the annual Philippine Navy Anniversary Celebration to highlight the different Philippine Navy assets and its capabilities. The Fleet Review is spearheaded by the Philippine Fleet, one of the two type commands of the Philippine Navy, with the other one being the Philippine Marine Corps. The Philippine Fleet ensures the operational readiness of fleet assets for naval operations. It currently has 3 forces which administratively organize, train, equip, and maintain Philippine Navy surface ships. These are the Littoral Combat Force, the Offshore Combat Force, and the Sea-Lift Amphibious Force. Moreover, the Naval Air Group and the Naval Special Operations Group are the 2 support group of the Philippine Fleet.
Ladies and gentlemen, sounding their presence are 3 of our Gusto Westland 109 helicopters. This AW109 helicopters have 2 configurations, multipurpose and armed. Their far-ranging capability highlighted by mission essential equipment greatly enhance the patrol capability of ships, support Marines, and special operations, and perform HADR operations. The rigid hull inflatable boats of the Naval Special Operations Group, BRP Tarlac and BRP Davao del Sur. The RIB, as it is called, travels at speed of 45 knots or 83 kilometers per hour.
Approaching before you are the landing crafts of the Sea-Lift Amphibious Force. The Sea-Lift Amphibious Force are composed of Philippine Navy assets engaged in amphibious support and transport duties, particularly transport of personnel and logistics. However, Sea-Lift and amphibious capabilities have a diverse range of uses other than combat. They likewise provide humanitarian aid, respond to natural disasters, and engage in search and rescue operations. The Sea-Lift Amphibious Force is headed by Commodore Antonio C. Palces, AFP.
Approaching are the patrol ships of Offshore Combat Force, which is composed of Philippine Navy assets engaged in naval surface warfare operations. These vessels are designed to primarily conduct patrol operations against hostile undersea and surface crafts in order to preserve territorial integrity. The Offshore Combat Force is headed by Captain Cesar Bernardo N. Valencia, Philippine Navy GSC.
we now have the Naval Affiliated Reserve Force, NCR, West Phil, spearheaded by Captain Francisco P. Tiu Laurel Jr., Philippine Navy, GSC. The Philippine Navy Affiliated Reserve Unit's mission is to provide uninterrupted support in times of natural disaster and man-made calamities. And they already proved their capabilities last 2013 during Typhoon Yolanda. A total of 5 vessels were deployed with an intervals of 3 days, which transported 1,380 tons of relief goods from Navotas to Ormoc, Leyte, Sugod, Leyte, and Tacloban. They also ferried 370 survivors from Tacloban going to Cebu and Manila. With these relief operations, cost the unit an approximately 4.5 million, comprised of fuel, salaries of crew. Other than, they also donated Frabel, canned goods, and waters. The Naval Affiliated Reserve Force NCR Westfield is composed of 4 private fishing corporations, namely Frabel Fishing Corporations, RAV Fishing Corporations, Trans-Pacific Journey Fishing Corporations, and RBL Fishing Corporations. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Philippine Navy today. Kindly direct your attention at the LED wall for a short presentation of the Philippine Navy in the future, which features organizational plans and capability modernization. And that ends the 120th Philippine Navy Anniversary Celebration. On behalf of our Flag Officer in Command, Philippine Navy, Vice Admiral Robert A. Empedrad, AFP, we extend our sincerest gratitude for your presence here today.
Once again, this is your Philippine Navy, protecting the seas,
securing our future.
Maraming salamat at mabuhay ang ating Republika. May we request everyone to remain seated until after the President has left the program venue. Thank you.
Ikaw ang pangulo para sa pagbabago. Sawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tao. Madilim na kahapon, ikaw ang mataahon. Sa piling mo, di ko mawawala ang korupsyon. Tayo na, Pilipinas, tayo na magbago. Hawak kamay tayo para sa pag-asenso. Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago. Masdan mo ang paligid, talamak mga krimen, rape, droga at mga nakawan, dapat nga mapigilan. Tayo na, Pilipinas, tayo na magbago. Hawak kamay tayo para sa pag-asenso. Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago.
Why am I here? I am here because I love my country and I love the people of the Philippines.
Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago. Ikaw ang Pangulo para sa pagbabago. Sawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tao. Madilim na kahapon, ikaw ang mag-aahon. Sa piling mo, di ko mawawala ang korupsyon. Tayo na, Pilipinas, tayo na magbago. Hawak kamay tayo para sa pag-asenso. Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago. Masdan mo ang paligid, alamak mga krimen, rape, droga at mga nakawan, dapat nga mapigilan. Tayo na, Pilipinas, tayo na magbago. Hawak kamay tayo para sa pag-asenso. Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago.
Why am I here? I am here because I love my country and I love the people of the Philippines.
Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago. Ikaw ang Pangulo para sa pagbabago. Sawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tao. Madilim na kahapon, ikaw ang mag-aahon. Sa piling mo, di ko mawawala ang korupsyon. Tayo na, Pilipinas, tayo na magbago. Hawak kamay tayo para sa pag-asenso. Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago. Masdan mo ang paligid, alamak mga krimen, rape, droga at mga nakawan, dapat nga mapigilan. Tayo na, Pilipinas, tayo na magbago. Hawak kamay tayo para sa pag-asenso. Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago.
Why am I here? I am here because I love my country and I love the people of the Philippines.
Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago. ikaw ang mamulo para sa pagbabago. Sawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tao. Madilim na kahapon, ikaw ang mag-aahon. Sa piling mo, di ko mawawala ang korupsyon. Tayo na, Pilipinas, tayo na magbago. Hawat kamay tayo para sa pag-asenso. Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago. Masdan mo ang paligid, alamak mga krimen, rape, droga at mga nakawan, dapat nang mapigilan. Tayo na, Pilipinas, tayo na magbago. Hawak kamay tayo